boy. Today is a really exciting day because we are going to be buying a lot of stuff for the car. A lot of the final parts for the turbo build, which I'm really excited about. Obviously down the road there could be a couple of things that we need, and we'll cross that bridge when we get to it, but for right now, you know, I still don't have all the main components. You know, I don't have the turbo ordered yet. I don't have the wastegate. I don't have the blow-off valve. I don't have any of the piping, but that's coming at the fabricators in a couple weeks. We'll talk about that later. Or like the AN lines or anything like that. So today is the day where I'm gonna just buy all those things that I need, put them in one giant shopping cart, check them out, and I've been saving a while, as you can see in my first clip there. That's not all that I've saved, but you know, anytime that I get paid, I put a couple dollars aside. You know, side hustles, selling something. And actually, in fact, I have to sell a mug. I sold a mug the other day. I bought it for $1. Sold for like $18 the other day on my eBay account. So why don't I show you that? So this is the mug that sold. This is a Starbucks mug, and they actually sell pretty well. But yeah, I picked this up for $1 at a thrift store and sold for 18 bucks. So that would go in the car part money pile. And you turn it into a turbo. There we go. That's better. Now it's ready to be shipped out. Okay, before I go, I'm going to be taking this to film with, this contraption. I still haven't finished the video for it yet. So we'll take the GoPros with us and this contraption here. I've been working with that gimbal. It's a Moza Air 1, I think, but haven't gotten the hang of it yet. So we'll try and take that thing for a rip sooner or later. But all right, got what we need. Let's head on out of here. So I've got a lot of GoPro stuff, and it's kind of messy, and it's kind of spread all over the place. There's some in the car. So I have this, which is for my drone, but I never use it. So I'm going to try and organize that. So underneath here, there are these little pouches, and that seems to fit right in there. I don't think you guys can see that like pretty much at all. Aha! There we go. That fits right in there. I'm going to cut these open, put these in here, and then that will also go in there like that. And this I can't really take apart right now because I don't have a Phillips head, but I'll put a little Phillips head screwdriver in there as well. So I'll have a little bit of a kit to work on things. I also have some pieces out in my truck as well. Such a nice day to be driving this around, but it's been raining like crazy, so all this dirt has been kicked up on the side, and yeah, there's that whole situation there, so I'll probably go take her to the car wash, which I'm not worried about scratches because vinyl wrap. There's a couple of things I wanted to talk to you guys about today that are changing. Something happened to me, and I'll get into that in just a second. She always starts. And look, my window motor works now. Woo! Sticky tires!
Suddenly everything needs to be adjusted. The lights need to be tweaked, the mic and everything.
Be quiet, Peter McKinnon, even though I love you. Okay, so just to start off, this is not me, you know, looking for attention. I'm not, you know, mad at the state for what this is. And, you know, I screwed up and this is my punishment for it. So I just got to take it like a man, get it done with, and that's fine. So I'll just explain to you what happened. So a couple of weeks ago, I got pulled over on Main Street in Torrington. I went through an intersection that was yellow. At least I thought it was yellow, and I thought I could make it through. And there was an officer that was in the intersection at the time, and he pulled me over, and he said, hey, it was real close, I think it was red, but that's not what I'm concerned about. And I said, okay, what's going on? And he's like, well, the registration on your truck is not valid. And I was like, what? Yes, it is. Because I had it in my truck with me. I always stay on top of my registration and insurance and all that. And I just didn't really understand what he was talking about, because I literally have the updated registration with me. So obviously his system didn't tell him why it was suspended or why it was not current or up to date. So he's just like, maybe it's your emissions, maybe it's something. He's like, it is kind of weird. So what I'll do is, you know, I'm supposed to tow you, but why don't you go and park over there and get a tow truck? Wink, wink. And I was like, all right. So I got my vehicle over to a shop to get the emissions done. I didn't go to work that day. I called out of work and I said, hey, I got to take care of this. And so I did my emissions, passed my emissions, and Jen at the shop was like, hey, you know, you can look up on the website to see if there's anything, you know, that's outstanding, you know. So I didn't see anything. I didn't see anything weird. So I decided to go to the DMV. So I took a copy of the emissions. I took a copy of my insurance to make sure I was insured and everything. So my declarations page on my insurance, and I went over there. So I got to the DMV and I asked them what the issue was with my registration and why it wasn't, you know, why there was an issue with it. So they said, well, looks like you had a lapse of insurance on your vehicle. I was like, what vehicle? I was like, I haven't lapsed on my insurance ever. And so she pulled my record, and this was on a truck that I owned 2 years ago. Almost 3 years ago. So 3 years ago, I had a truck and the motor blew up on it, and I took the insurance off. And in the state of Connecticut, I guess you have like 14 days to cancel your registration or turn in your plates or whatever. Well, if my memory serves me correctly, I think I was doing something with the Army. I think I was at a drill weekend, or I was at a training event or something like that. I could be wrong, but I think I was at Mountain Warfare School at the time. Either way, when I came back from the trip, I canceled the registration, but it wasn't 14 days after, it was 21 days after. So I had a lapse of insurance for like a week or so. And what they did was they charged me $200. They put an outstanding bill out for $200 as a penalty, and I never got any mail about it. I didn't see any mail, and they decided to freeze not just my truck, but also my Nissan's registration until I paid it off. So I lost a day of work. I paid $200 to get this thing current, and I paid for an emissions test, all this to figure out that this was a 2-year-old issue, which they never informed me about. So that's all right, whatever. I paid it, got it all registered. I got my ticket. I posted not guilty about it, and I submitted it online. And so I pretty much gave them the scenario. I said, hey, you know, this is why I got pulled over. This is what we found. You know, I don't believe I went through a red light to trigger this stop, but you know what? It happened. We were able to figure this out. The police officer was very nice. You know, here's the paperwork. I submitted copies of my up-to-date registration and everything. And they sent me a counter offer saying, hey, you know, it was a $250 ticket. We'll take off everything about the registration because you took care of it. But we're gonna leave the traffic violation, and it's a $70 ticket. And so now I'm racking in my brain. I'm trying to think the last time I got pulled over, because I once lost my license for 30 days. And just to explain to you guys, in Connecticut, we have like a 3-strike rule, and if you get, I think it's, somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, I think if you get 3 infractions, whether it be speeding or whether it be, you know, traffic violations or something like that, you get your license suspended for 30 days, and you have to go to a driver's retraining. So that happened to me. When I was younger, I got stopped 3 times in a very short amount of time, like within the same year, within a year and a half. And I was trying to think when the last time I got pulled over and ticketed and when that was. and that was when I was with a previous employer. It was a few cars before, and I just couldn't remember. So I looked through my Facebook, and I was like, all right, I think the last time I got pulled over was when I raced that undercover cop. I'll tell you that story another time. And that was like 5 years ago. So I was like, all right, 5 years ago, $70 tickets. Oh yeah, and after you get your license suspended for 30 days, you have a 3-year like timer. So you have to be completely good to not get your license suspended again. Even a small infraction in that 3 years will mess you up, will put you back, and you'll lose your license for 60 days. So I'm thinking it was 5 years ago, so all right, I'm in the clear. I'll just take the hit on this one and go ahead and pay it. So I paid it. Well, a week later, I was telling my friend about it, and he's like, well, it's been less than 3 years since your last ticket. I was like, no, it hasn't. Last time I got pulled over was when I was racing that undercover cop. And he's like, well, what about that time you borrowed my car right before that track day and you got pulled over going back to your house? And my heart, it sank, you guys. It sank so far. So we looked up the date, and on May 17th, 2017, I got pulled over, and I got a ticket. And so I was like, oh no, I'm gonna lose my license. So what I did was I reached out to an attorney to see if there was anything I could do. He pretty much said I was you know, up the creek with no paddle, just because I already accepted the $70. And so pretty much in a nutshell, don't go through yellow lights, because you might lose your license for 60 days. I wish the state did it a little bit differently, where, you know, you just got like maybe a larger and larger fine every time you get be quiet. Get a larger and larger fine, like as you get more speeding tickets. But I don't know, I've been clean for 2 years, 11 months, and 2 weeks before I got pulled over. So I almost made it. So I'm gonna have to reset that timer again. I'm gonna be out of my out of driving for 60 days starting on the 20th. But you know what? Maybe it's a good thing that it's happening now, because 1, it's before my wedding. 2, we're still quarantined. And 3, I can make more content. So like this video, comment on this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel so that I can be motivated to keep making videos and hear more funny stories, because I actually do have a lot of police encounter stories. I have been pulled over many times for many reasons. For nothing serious, but you know, just stupid stuff. I'm sure a lot of people in the car community can relate to a lot of stories, but some of them are kind of entertaining. So if you want to see any of those stories or hear any of those stories, just let me know below.
Do everything on it. So
Oh,
it's a
so
wide
it's
band, boost, fuel sensor, everything in one.
Oh, that's interesting. It must be like pretty bulky.
No, it's one sensor.
Oh, really?
It's one. It looks just like the other one, just with buttons on it, and then you just cycle through it.
Yeah.
Whatever you wire it in, like you could do a bunch of fail safes. So like if it overboosts, it'll start pulling. You have to wire all this in, you know.
Oh, yeah.
And you could do if you have like a flex fuel kit, you could wire that in there so you can see your flex fuel content.
So is there like a whole panel in the back where you can just kind of attach?
Wires come out of it.
Yeah.
And then there's like adapter harnesses. Like let's say if you have AEM, like a standalone, there's harnesses that go into it.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll do. You don't have to really wire anything.
Whenever I think of wiring, I get very nervous.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to keep it simple, you just buy the 2 gauges and just wire them.
That's what I think we're gonna go with. Yeah.
If you but if you just want 1 gauge, there's always a way to do it.
Yeah. So like I think that's a good option. But for where I'm at right now, I think those just the boost gauge and the wideband is probably gonna be the best for right now. And then I think that's gonna be good.
Yeah.
Cool.
What else, man? What else do you need?
What else do we need? So the oil pump's already on the way. I got a TurboWorks. Remember I was telling you like it's quieter, but like it burbles, like it's not as much of a high flow. I think I told you that.
Yeah, you're getting the louder one.
Yeah, I'm not getting the louder one. It's still a TurboWorks, but it's their larger model. So instead, like that one I found out was like their micro, and this one's like their one of their biggest ones.
Like the full size one.
Yeah. So
5 PSI one and an X series. Yeah.
all right, so everything's on order, which is great. We didn't get the lines, we didn't get a couple of things. We're gonna wait till after the fab work is done, and then we can kind of piece all that together, and hopefully my buddy who's doing the fab work can kind of help guide us on what's gonna be the best to use in my application, because a lot of this is custom work. So we got the turbo, we got the wastegate, we got the gauges, and I think that's all we got for right now. I might be missing something, but we got a bunch of stuff. Sorry I didn't do more filming in there, but it is their place of business and there was people coming in and out, so I didn't want to be disrespectful. Yeah, so I'm just gonna get a car wash and then probably gonna be it for the video. All right guys, we're home. She's super clean. The only thing that I don't like about a gravel driveway, well, pretty much everything. Can't really work on vehicles. I mean, you can, but it's very challenging. But just wanted to thank you guys for stopping by at the channel today and listening to me moan and complain about losing my license. But you know what? Like I said, it is what it is. It happens. But I'm just gonna take it like a man and hopefully not mess up in the future and take all my aggression out on the track. So that will be happening sooner or later, as soon as COVID-19 gets the heck on out of here. And I'm just excited that I got to, you know, order my turbo, or order those gauges, order the wastegate. We held off on the blow-off valves until we figured out what we wanted to do, single or twin. And I think I'm just gonna do twin. I think it's just gonna be safer. So that's probably gonna be the route we're gonna go. So thank you so much for stopping by at the channel, and please subscribe. I am growing this channel and it's growing very well, and to all my new subscribers, thank you so much. And we're gonna be seeing a lot more of the car, and I also do videos on my truck and a lot of video stuff. I mean, I'm not an expert videographer, but it is a passion of mine, and I do you know, spotlight videos. You can check them out on my channel. But yeah, thanks for the like, thanks for the view. Hope you guys have a good day, and I'll see you on the next one.